Shalom, shalom, family. I am back again, and I wanted to bring this to your attention. Now, I told you guys on a video a while back to watch Emmanuel Macron, that I believe he is the beast. And if you guys go watch all my videos, I gave lots of evidence for why he's the only person who has declared that he was going to be God or rule like God. I did a video on the reorganization of Islam in France. I told you guys that Saudi Arabia is Babylon. And now France got ties with Russia. Uh, I told you guys that Russia was the bear of the beast, Turkey was the leopard, and Iran is the lion. And I told y'all Manuel Macron is the beast. I just did an article the other day where he was about the Saudis' arm deals with France. Now I'm going to read y'all this article today. It says, "Is France reinventing itself as a kingmaker in the Middle East?" On the video, I'm trying to remember which video I said that on. I said Emmanuel Macron may try to become king of the Middle East somehow, or king of Tyrus is what I was talking about in Lebanon. But we see that he is moving his way into the Middle East, just like I predicted. I'm going to find that video maybe at the end of the video, see if we can find it for confirmation. Is France reinventing itself as a kingmaker in the Middle East? France is pursuing an ambitious foreign policy under President Emmanuel Macron that seeks to restore Paris' clout and influence in the Middle East. Analysts have told Al Jazeera, and what marked a new phase in Macron's presidency. France joined the United States and the UK on April 14th and dropping 105 bombs on 3 facilities in Syria, said to be associated with the use of chemical weapons. 40-year-old Macron, who in May 2017 became France's youngest ever president, said he convinced his U.S. counterpart Donald Trump to carry out the attacks and stay in Syria for the long term after a suspected chemical weapons attack on the former rebel-held stronghold of Douma killed dozens of people, according to rescuers and medics. 10 days ago, President Trump was saying the United States had a duty to disengage from Syria. Macron told French TV channel BFM in a 2-hour live interview, "We convinced him that it is necessary to stay for the long term." Macron also said that he is willing to play the role of intermediary between the U.S. and Russia, a major ally of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, and find a sustainable political solution in Syria. He had previously offered to serve as an interlocutor. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, in the long-running conflict, and set up an international contact group to revive stalled peace talks in the Swiss city of Geneva. France has managed to maintain relatively good ties with Russia despite the high levels of tension between Russia and the West. Agathe Demarais, an analysis of the economic. Why do I always get tongue-tied doing these videos? Economist Intelligence Unit told Al Jazeera. Like I can't read. I be sounding like I can't read when actually I have a very high reading and comprehension level. Y'all, my daughter just got accepted into gifted and talented for her reading level, so I can read. It's like when I get nervous, I still get a little nervous doing these videos, and then it's like I be trying to hurry up too, but that's neither here nor there. Let me not get sidetracked. Um, so it's okay, Macron plans to visit St. Petersburg in June, where he will meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. In this regard, it is interesting to note that the Russian army didn't acknowledge the French participation in the airstrikes in Syria, probably in an effort to preserve France-Russia bilateral ties, she said. But while Saturday's attacks were his first major military decision since he came to office, It was not the first time the young leader intervened in conflicts and crises abroad. In his first major foreign policy speech after his inauguration, Macron said France is no longer in a situation as it was in the mid 1970s, where it could say, I'm a medium power, protected and supported by major powers that share the same values. France must become a great power again. That's a necessity. End quote. Extremely opportunistic. Analysts said that in recent years, France has been quick to intervene militarily in conflicts in Africa, such as Libya, Mali, and Central African Republic, but has only recently become a major diplomatic force in the Middle East. Macron is extremely opportunistic and is filling a void left by the US and the UK in the Middle East, positioning France as a playmaker in the region along with Russia. Also positioning him as the beast. I'm trying to tell y'all. Now, Oliver Gilta, the managing director of the Global Strat of Geopolitical Risk consultancy firm, Damaris agreed France will be keen to act as a power broker in the Middle East in the coming months. France will be keen to act as a power broker in the Middle East in the coming months. Paris played an important role as a mediator in November 2017 after Lebanese Prime Minister said Hariri abruptly resigned from office while visiting Saudi Arabia. Hariri blamed interference in Lebanon by Iran and its Lebanese ally Hezbollah for his decisions to step down, adding he feared an assassination attempt. However, many analysts suspected Saudi Arabia pushed him to resign as punishment for his weak stance towards Hezbollah. Lebanese leaders, and what did I just say to y'all? I said he trying to get into Lebanon because he gonna be the king of tyrants. Now, what did I tell y'all that? I just said that. And I'm gonna find that video where I said that in my old videos. However, many analysts suspected Saudi Arabia pushed him to resign as punishment for his weak stance toward Hezbollah. Lebanese leaders, meanwhile, allegedly that the Saudis were holding Hariri hostage, while Rida accused the Lebanese government of declaring war against it because of Hezbollah's aggression. Macron hastily flew to the kingdom and held talks with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to help restore the situation and stressed that the importance of preserving the stability, independence, and security of Lebanon. A few weeks later, Hariri withdrew his resignation and resumed his post, which resulted in the political temperature dropping a notch. Macron's mediation in Lebanon may not be surprising given that France takes a special interest in its former colony. I read this on one of my old videos to y'all that France used to be like, that used to be their territory, Lebanon. May not be surprising given that France take a special interest in its former colony, but his eagerness to address other crises in the Middle East is emblematic of his desire to establish France as a leading power within the region, according to analysis. Because of France extremely close relationship with the Hariri family, Macron positioned himself as a deal maker and is gaining points on the geopolitical board. In December 2017, Macron hosted Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas after Trump announced he would recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Macron offered Abbas support in return for a Palestinian leader, called on France to assume a new leadership role in the peace process after stating that the U.S. can no longer participate. We have trust in you. We respect the efforts made by you. We count heavily on your efforts. He wants to talk to everyone. In early December, when the French president visited Qatar to negotiate the sale of 12 French-made Rafale fighter aircraft, he used the opportunity to try to mediate an ongoing Gulf diplomatic crisis on the biggest disputes in inter-Arab relations in recent history. In June last year, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, which I've been telling you about, Egypt and Bahrain cut diplomatic ties with Qatar and imposed a land, air, and sea blockade against it, accusing their Gulf neighbor of financing terrorism and maintaining close ties to their regional rival, Iran. So, y'all, Macron has avoided antagonizing both sides in this crisis, but he has built a deepening relationship with the country he feels more in tune with, the UAE. And I told y'all the UAE is the 7 heads on the beast. And notice how it say he a kingmaker is the headline. Cause he gonna the 10 kings that get power with the beast for 1 hour. Alright, y'all. I hope y'all listening. I'm gonna try to find that video where I said all this before in my older video. And I'll put it in the description for you guys. Shalom. All praise go to the Father, to the Holy Spirit, and to our brother Christ. Till we meet again, guys.